NBC Sports Group.
Whether it is the approach, the adjustments, the swings, or the results, the offense has not delivered recently when needed. Getting runners on base has not been the issue. Getting them around the bases has been. The best thing about baseball, the next opportunities arrive tonight. Less than 24 hours after last night's 2-1 loss to the Washington Nationals, yes, the Phillies can turn the page because they've got game number 2 on their sights here at Citizens Bank Park against those Nats once again, trying to get back to the 500 mark. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. A lot of talk about last night's ball game, obviously, because of all the runners the Phillies left on base, all the runners that Hunter Pence left on base in last night's game. And, again, one of the keys to baseball is that you can turn the page, and nobody is running away with this division right now.
No, they aren't, Tom, and that's the good news. Thankfully, the Dodgers aren't in this division because it could be a little bit tough. They could be buried at this point in the year. They certainly aren't, though the Phillies just have not played good baseball. Here we go in the third inning. Gio Gonzalez, he pitched okay last night, but, they had some shots at him. There's a ground ball and a force out at second with the bases loaded. Hunter Pence hits his bullet to center. Placido Polanco, obviously a base running mistake, had to go back, tag up immediately. You can see Juan Samuel's reaction. And then this play by LaRoche. LaRoche was going to give up on the play, just go to first and get the out. Then he looked down and he saw Polanco's not running real well. He said, I'm going to go get him. Made a great play. Carlos Ruiz has been such a clutch hitter. Came up with a couple of men on. He can't do it all the time. Force out at second base and out of another inning. And then the ninth, well, that's another whole story. The offense in the last 3 games, the numbers are just not good. In fact, they scored 2 runs in the last 2 games, and they've both been on sacrifice flies. So, when you think about a sacrifice fly, basically the opposition's just giving you that run. They're catching the ball deep in the outfield, letting the guy score. So, the offense has really struggled the last couple of games. But the good news, if you want to look for a silver lining, they've got a lot of chances to score.
Well, the other part of the good news is that Roy Halladay's on the mound tonight against these Washington Nationals.
Yeah, that's always good when Roy Halladay's on the mound. And against the Washington Nationals, seems to have a happy ending for the Phillies for the most part. Here he is last year. He was in total command of this ball game last year on April the 13th. It was down in Washington. He had nasty stuff the whole night, and it looked like it was really going to be easy. And then all of a sudden they kicked up a fuss in the 9th inning. He kept himself in the game, talked to Charlie Manuel about it. He got the strikeout on Matt Stairs right there, then the strikeout on Pudge, even though he thought the pitch was outside, which he probably was. And Roy Halladay and the Phillies came away with that win. This is what he's done against the Washington Nationals. And with the Phillies, this guy is 6-0. And look at that earned run average, under 2. So you look at the game tonight and you think, yeah, you have a heck of a chance to win the game. The guy on the other side, pretty good pitcher, too, for the Washington Nationals.
All right, so Doc is ready to work tonight for the Phils, hoping to spin a good one against the Washington Nationals. The other guy is Jordan Zimmerman for the Nats. He has had kind of an up and down 2012 win-loss-wise, but look at that ERA of 2.58. So it is game 2 of this 3-game series. Everybody getting ready. They got the right sandwiches. They've got the right tickets. They're getting the perfect shot of what's going on the field. The lineups at first pitch when we come back. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. gorgeous night for baseball here at Citizens Bank Park. It's game 2 of a 3-game series between the Phillies and the Washington Nationals. Roy Halladay is ready to go, and the first batter, Steve Lombardozzi, is already settling into the box, so here we go. Phillies lost last night's ball game 2-1. Lombardozzi was 0 for 4 in the game, and the first pitch of the night is taken up high, so it's 1 ball and no strikes. Overall, Lombardozzi, a .316 hitter, no homers and 5 runs batted in. He's kind of become their leadoff hitter by default.
Yeah, they've tried Desmond in that spot a lot of times, and he just doesn't seem to hit much out of the leadoff spot. And plus, he can be a run producer.
There's a fly ball to right field into the sunshine. Hunter Pence settles under it. And 1 quick out here in the first. Let's take a look at the rest of the Washington Nationals lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. After Lombardozzi, it's Bryce Harper, then Chad Tracy. There's a story there. Adam LaRoche, the first baseman, is the cleanup batter. Ian Desmond, the shortstop, bats 5th. Danny Espinosa, 6th. You see the bottom third getting a chance to face Roy Halladay tonight. Bryce Harper, a .256 hitter with 2 homers and 7 runs batted in. And he swings at the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Halladay's numbers on the year, 4-3. It should be better. Phillies just haven't scored runs for him. And an earned run average of 3.22.
Yeah, there's been so many strange things in the first 2 months of the season. Check out the scouting report on him. Hope he's back on track after a win last time out. And great numbers against Washington. Then you look at Cliff Lee with no wins.
Ground ball right side, right past Hector Luna and into right field. And it's a 1-out single for Bryce Harper. So Halladay gives up a first inning base hit, which is common. He usually works his way out of it. He has not lost to the Nationals / the Expos since June 28, 2000. In 16 games, he's 11-1 with a 2.28 earned run average.
Yeah, they were the Expos at that time.
And now facing Chad Tracy, who was a late addition to the Nationals starting lineup for Ryan Zimmerman, who took batting practice today, but then was lifted from the lineup because of what we were told was a manager's decision. Now, I'm sure Davey Johnson has a real reason, but he may not let us know until after the game because he wants Charlie Manuel to think that Ryan is indeed available, and he might be. We just don't know.
That's right.
Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, once in a while, they'll let on to you that somebody's not available. You know, and they know that people aren't going to use it on the air. But for the most part, they're going to keep it quiet and keep the other guy guessing in the dugout.
And he might be fine. He may have just come up with something that caused him to miss the first part of the ball game, but could swing the bat if they need him to at least one time. There's a pop up into foul territory, and Hector Luna will take care of Chad Tracy. 2 outs here in the first.
Time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's game. Well, you got to shake that off last night. That's easier said than done, but that was just an awful loss. And try and score some runs for Roy Halladay. Give him a lead and let him coast. Because he can, he had the 1 lead in Atlanta. We got to forget about that. You thought he was going to coast that night. But for the most part, he's always in some tough game right down to the minute he leaves.
Well, facing Adam LaRoche, who is 5 for 14 against him lifetime. And the first pitch is over at the belt, and it's 0-1.
Gotten 2 outs on curveballs here in the first inning. 2 weak fly, a weak fly ball and a pop up down the first baseline.
That's a changeup that missed somewhere, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
The place it could have missed was low.
See LaRoche's splits this year. He has driven in 31 batters. That's pretty good. Swing and a miss and a curveball. And it's 1-2. LaRoche last night was 0 for 3, but he made one of the plays of the game. There were a number of them. But his defensive play at first to get Placido Polanco in an inning that the Phillies would like to forget was a heck of a play on so many fronts.
A lot of sunshine around. The guy shielding his eyes.
Broke his bat. 1 hopper to Fontenot. And he'll take care of LaRoche. Roy Halladay takes care of the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. And yes, you're going to need some shades at least to start tonight's ball game. We go to the bottom of the first. Jordan Zimmerman. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in left field, Juan Pierre, then Placido Polanco and Shane Victorino. Hunter Pence once again is the cleanup hitter. Carlos Ruiz in the 5-hole. Hector Luna makes the start at first base. He'll bat 6th. Hitting 7th is Freddie Galvis. 8th is Mike Fontenot. And on the mound, of course, is Doc, and they'll face 25-year-old right-hander Jordan Zimmerman, who will turn 26 tomorrow. 9th start for Zimmerman, 2-4 with a 2.58 earned run average.
Another guy with a reconstructed elbow who missed almost a season with Tommy John surgery, just like Steven Strasburg did. Has come back really well with a 91-95 fastball. This guy is a power pitcher, but he has a really good curveball. Lifetime against the Phillies, they've really had good success against him. He's the guy that matched up with Cole Hamels in that now infamous Sunday night game a few weeks ago. And did he hit Hamels on purpose? Well, who knows? He didn't say.
He didn't say, but it was on purpose.
It sure looked like it.
Phillies wound up winning that ball game 9-3. Juan Pierre, who was 1 for 4 last night, takes a strike to begin the night. It's 0-1. Pierre, a .317 hitter with no homers and 7 runs batted in. Good luck at McDonald's. Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Al Buckner of Doylestown. Hit the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, and Al's going to win $300.
Guy's a big fastball, already 94, 95, and then he'll throw a very, very good curveball and not a bad changeup too. But he also can be victimized by home run balls.
One of the problems, according to Davey Johnson, is that Zimmerman and F.P. Santangelo, who does the television for the Nationals, said this too, is that sometimes when he's wild in the strike zone.
And that's fatal for a guy that throws hard.
2-2 pitch. Ground ball up the first baseline, foul.
What Tom means by that, by wild in the strike zone, means that you're missing your spots, and when you're missing them, you are right down the middle for the most part. And when you throw hard and you're down the middle in this league, look out.
Yeah, instead of hitting the corner, you're right over the meat of the plate. See, there he was on the corner.
Yeah, you're in the strike zone, but you're not where you want to be.
Well, Zimmerman is one of 3 pitchers in the Nationals rotation that has a sub-3 earned run average. His is at 2.58 to begin the night. There are only 2 other teams that have that same status in the National League. There's a looper left side, and Chad Tracy will make the catch.
Yeah, they have a big 3 just like the Phillies do. And, you saw one of them last night in Gio Gonzalez, of course, Strasburg, and now this guy tonight, Zimmerman.
During the 2012 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. There's Gio Gonzalez, who ran a lot of deep counts last night, but still wound up picking up his 6th win of the year. Here's Placido Polanco. who stood up after the ball game last night and said, yeah, I screwed up when he was on third base when Hunter Pence lined a ball to center field and Rick Ankiel dove for it. He'll be retired by Ankiel on this play. And there are 2 outs. And he said he needed to be back on the bag, and then at that point he could have read whether he should have tagged up or not. Well, Charlie Manuel talked a little bit more about that today. And, Murph, Charlie was talking about the players have to be held accountable in that spot. And that's exactly what Polanco was saying last night after the ball game.
Yeah, you're right. He was asked if he was satisfied with the way they ran the bases last night. And he said, of course I wasn't satisfied with that. He said, but the next question will be, how do we fix it? And he said, look, we have coaches that work on this every day. We talk about it. We practice it. But ultimately, when the guys are out there on the bases, they need to be held accountable. They need to be thinking about what they need to do out there in order to, get the job done. It didn't happen a whole lot last night, but as you pointed out, Placido Polanco was the first to stand up and say, yeah, I need to do a better job. And that's what Charlie's looking for out of his players. Well,
we'll see if it carries over tonight in a positive way.
Well, when you get right down to it, the only time a baseball player needs a coach when they're running the bases and when the ball's hitting the right field corner and it's behind them. Every other time the play's right in front of them. 99% of the time you've got the play in front of you. As a major league player, you got to run the bases on your own.
Steve Lombardozzi read that one a little late, but is still able to make the grab to retire Victorino. The Phillies go down 1-2-3. We go to the second. John Mayberry was part of that conversation last night as well. .TV today to see every Phillies out-of-market game live online or on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Top of the second. Roy Halladay's ready to go. Ian Desmond will lead it off.
Desmond loves that first pitch. You would think Halladay will try and cut something away from him.
And it's curveball.
Away from him in a good spot. Obviously for a called strike, but this guy loves a hack early at fastballs.
Off the end of the bat, that's a good pitch when you're throwing it against Desmond. Mike Fontenot is under it, and there's one out here in the second. Well, we mentioned it's a gorgeous day, or gorgeous night, I should say, here in Philadelphia. 73 degrees, partly cloudy. It was kind of a murky afternoon, but it's gotten better as the day has gone on. So folks that have come out to the ballpark, there are a lot of people walking around Ashburn Alley. We got a chance to see some bright sunshine, which is a welcome sight.
Yeah, out there in right center field, people are still have some sun in their eyes out there as it's setting.
Now he only needs that for aesthetics. He doesn't need that for warmth. No. Denny Espinosa gets out of the way of the first pitch from Halladay.
Halladay's throwing a lot of curveballs. And three of the outs have been on curveballs. There he just started Espinosa with one.
Swing and a miss and a cutter. It's 1-1. The cutter is still the pitch that Halladay throws the most. Statistically speaking, he'll throw it 42% of the time. And then he'll throw his sinker 28% of the time. Then he'll break a bat or two. Here's Galvis. Nice play, and then just lost the handle of the ball. And that'll be a base hit.
And that's what he does on that cutter a lot of times. To a left-handed hitter, he runs it in on, breaks their bat. That was going to be a really close play at first base on Espinosa. Never know if he could have gotten him or not. The ball's not hit very hard, spinning like crazy, and then in the transfer, Galvis loses it. See the spin on that thing as it goes into his glove? When you get jammed like that, that ball has some crazy spin coming out.
Freddie's played shortstop again tonight. As Rick Ankiel takes a strike. Jimmy Rollins and his wife Jahari welcomed their first child. I guess it was early Monday morning. Late Sunday night, early Monday morning. So Jimmy is on paternity leave. Eric Kratz has arrived from Lehigh Valley. Runner goes, pitches, hit foul.
That's a new rule they put in a few years ago.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, and you can recall a player, so you don't have to play with 24.
24 to 72 hours is the amount of time a player has. So Eric was in Lehigh Valley, so came down the Northeast extension to Philadelphia for this ball game.
That was one of the ideas when the Phillies got their AAA club closer. Started with the team in Lehigh Valley. I mean in Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and now in Lehigh Valley, and get a player here fast.
0-2 the count. Outside 1-2.
I first started with the Phillies in the early 70s. Their AAA club was in Eugene. It was a little tougher to get them here quick. Eugene, Oregon.
It would take a long time. Maybe a red eye.
Took a while. It took them a lot longer to get back when you sent them there.
Curveball waved at and missed. First strikeout for Halladay. 2 outs here in the second.
And that was really not a good one that he threw there, but he got away with it. He really throwing his curveball effectively, but he threw a little bit of a hanger here. I don't know if it's a strike, but it's certainly one that Ankiel would like. Look at his expression, like, oh, you're not going to give me many of those.
So 2 outs. Jesus Flores, the hitter. By the way, Jimmy and Jahari's daughter's name, Cameron Drew. It's a pretty name.
Yeah. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing Jimmy soon.
Yep. Hopefully both mom and baby are doing well. I know Jimmy's probably on cloud 9. I'm sure Gigi is on cloud 9, Jimmy's mom.
With all the great personalities in that family, that kid should be really nice.
The young lady will be on cloud 9 for a long time.
Yes.
Ooh. Don't see that often. Doc threw that one away. Espinosa's going to go all the way to third. Hector Luna's throw on one hop, and he's safe at third base. That was a really good throw by Luna.
Yeah, and it's a good thing it was a good throw. There's nobody backing that play up. And Roy kind of got frozen in the middle of the diamond there and not expecting to go all the way to third. Pierre was trying to come in to help out. And see if Luna, I guess he doesn't play. I don't know. The ball's really got to be caught over there. See, it's into the runner a little bit.
He reacted to his left before he went to his right, though.
It wasn't smooth.
The 11th career error by Roy Halladay. So runner at third, 2 outs. And it's no balls and 2 strikes.
A heck of a throw there and almost got him at third base.
Flores a .242 hitter. 6 runs batted in. As Espinosa takes his lead off third, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him with a fastball. Second straight strikeout for Halladay. And it's a big one. It comes at the right time. So he discards the error. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Nationals nothing, Phillies nothing. Union head north of the border to tangle with Toronto FC. The last time they hit the pitch there, they scored their most goals ever in a game. Now they're returning for another W. Watch Union pregame live right before the Union clash with Toronto FC. Saturday at 4, only on the Comcast Network. No scores. We go to the bottom of the second. Phillies will send Hunter Pence, Carlos Ruiz, Hector Luna to the plate. Dollar Dog Night here at the ballpark. Brought to you by Hatfield. Not the last, though. Many more before the end of the season. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, don't let that score fool you. Rockies were up 4-0 last night. They're up 3-0 tonight. Jamie Moyer gave up one of the longer home runs that you will see from Giancarlo Stanton. A grand slam.
Scoreboard shot.
Broke the scoreboard.
I wonder how far away that scoreboard is. Did they say? We'll find
it's. I think I read today was that they estimated the distance on the home run to be 365, but it was still going.
Yeah.
One that count to Pence.
If there's a guy in this league that hits a baseball harder than Stanton, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I don't know how they can gauge it because it wasn't coming down at that point. It was still ascending.
Yeah, the ballpark got in the way.
High fastball, and it's 1-2. Pence last night, well, he left 7 men on base.
Yeah, he had a tough night.
He was 0 for 3 with a walk.
He had good swings against this guy in Washington the other night. He hit a home run off him.
Fouls it away, staying alive, 1-2. Elias keeps the stats for Major League Baseball, and they have the Phillies as the leaving the 7th most in the National League. I should say in Major League Baseball.
Last night's one of those games, Tom, you know that you don't point your finger at anybody in games, but you'd run out of fingers to point at last night's game. There were so many mistakes made by so many people.
Not that guy.
Right, not that guy. He was good. He did his job.
Yeah.
Kyle Kendrick.
Kyle Kendrick pitched very well last night. Good hold by Pence, and it's 3-2.
Well, he's gone. I figured they'd ring him up on that. But he did hold up.
The team that's left the most this year are the Atlanta Braves, but they've also scored a lot of runs too. Here's the 3-2 to Pence. Stays alive, just gets a piece of it.
A lot of those good offensive years for the Phillies, we used to, bemoan the fact that they would leave so many men on base, but they'd have so many on, and they would score a lot.
Three at 2 the count. Back toward the middle, a base hit for Hunter. First hit of the night for the Phillies.
They've hit ball 4 there, but he loves that ball up in the zone. He got on top of it and found a hole. He grounded into a lot of double plays, doesn't Pence, because he hit so many hard ground balls.
Well, the umpires for tonight's ball game, Gary Cedarstrom is behind the plate. Lance Barksdale's at first. Fielding Colbert at second. Adrian Johnson around at third. Gary Cedarstrom was part of the Baseball 101 program today. 148 women who were here at the ballpark getting a chance to learn the ins and outs of baseball, a program the Phillies put on 2 times a year. It's a great program. And Gary was on to talk about the life of an umpire. It was a coaches clinic also that was put on. Rich Doobie, Nick Billmeyer, all the Phillies coaches were part of it. It's a great event. It really is. And it always sells out. There's another one that's coming up later on this year.
Yeah, everybody that I've ever known that went to it or talked to it or sent us letters just have such a great time.
Yeah. 0-1 the count to Carlos Ruiz. Pence runs. The pitch is hit back to the box. Zimmerman makes a nice play. So Pence is safe at second. 1-3 on the putout. And 1 out. I think they would have gotten Carlos anyway, even if it had gone over the mound. It would have been a much tougher play for Ian Desmond.
Yeah, and with Pence running, as you said, they're going to have to go to first on the play anyway. It's almost like you bunted him over, even though you didn't want to do that.
That'll bring Hector Luna to the plate. Luna walked last night as a pinch hitter. In the ninth inning, the Phillies had a couple of really good at bats, and his was one of them.
Well, this guy Luna likes guys that throw hard. This could be right up his alley if he could get something middle in to hit.
Or if he doesn't get a curveball, like he just, or slider, I should say. Well, he just got that there.
You know, the scouting report on Luna is pretty well known. You want to work him away as much as possible with all speed stuff.
Opposite way, and that'll go foul. 0-2 the count. Betts is on second. He's singled. 283rd single for the Phillies. They have the most in the National League.
Well, nice to get a lot of singles, but that normally doesn't equate to a lot of scoring unless they're, you're getting them with second and third, man at third.
Get one here, I bet you score.
Good chance.
The 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. By the way, Wheels, the Stanton thing, they estimated that if they I don't know how they did this, if they calculated the distance of the home run, it could be around 440 feet.
Oh, yeah, it looked like it had all of that.
Center field. That's pretty well hit. Ankiel on the run. It's over his head and a one hop over the wall. A ground rule double, and the Phillies take a 1-0 lead.
Well, he made that mistake we're hoping he would make. Everything away, and then a fastball. Had the plate up a little bit. Bam. He can really hit fastballs. And Hector Luna. It's like, why do you even throw him up? Glad he did.
First major league double since 2010.
Watch this. It may have been a ball, but he really got on top of that and rode it over Rick Ankiel's head and into the bushes out there.
So Hector is safe at second, safe and secure with New York life. Now Freddie Galvis. He takes on the outside corner.
There are some guys who watch play this sport year after year. And Luna was one of those guys who the Cardinals used to think, do not throw him a fastball when it counts. And got him over here now. It's the same thing.
Galvis the other way. Chad Tracy, who's playing in, makes a good play. A foot to the left or right, and that may have been trouble. So Luna's still at second. John Mayberry, who's sitting in front of Hunter Pence. Pence is catching his breath. Mayberry is being subbed tonight for Luna, or by Luna.
Well, how important was it now, that little dribbler, to get him to second? Because with ground rule double, he'd have stopped him at third, and he doesn't score, and that ball hit to Tracy. Maybe it's a different game tonight. Just little things like that work in your favor.
Turn the page, Wheels.
That's it. Turn the page and hope it's better.
Fontenot had a base hit in last night's game. And is behind, or is even now, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Really play Fontenot towards left and left center, give him the alley and right. Figuring he's not going to pull. They're not throwing a whole lot of curveballs tonight. A lot of fastballs, slider.
Over his last 3 starts, fastball's his primary pitch. Slider's the second one.
Yeah, and that's what it is tonight. Remember him having a real good curveball.
2-1 the count.
Maybe just out here early in the game, first time through the lineup, establish a fastball, slider, and then use your curveball later on as a surprise pitch. Because hitters go up there thinking they're going to see curveballs from him at some point. They have a base open right now. They don't have to pitch to Fontenot. Now they're going to put him on.
So Davey Johnson has decided to face Halladay with 2 outs. I guess they figure the way this inning's going, he's throwing a lot of pitches to do that. If you're in a perfect world, you like the pitcher to lead off the next inning.
When you fall behind like that with a left-handed hitter up, and you're facing a guy like Halladay, who's had such success against Washington, you're thinking, I don't want to give up a run here to the 8-hole hitter with 2 outs.
Doc has his average up to 208. No homers, 1 run batted in. And he swings at the first fastball and fouls it back. Taking a look at the top of that bat.
This hit's basically going the same spot. Right field.
The right field is waiting for it right now. Ground ball to shortstop, and he and Desmond will just take it right to the bag. So the Phillies settle for 1 on 2 hits. They leave 2. They take the early lead and an RBI double by Hector Luna. On to the 3rd. 1-zip Phils. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the layup is this. What team originally drafted Jason Worth with the 22nd pick in the first round of the 1997 MLB
Come on.
draft?
You're right. We can't say anything yet, Rube.
7th inning, Rube.
That is a layup. I got to admit it.
ridiculous.
I got to admit it.
On a beautiful night, we decided to give Wheels an easy question.
Thank you.
Speaking of questions, Ruben Amaro, the Phillies general manager, has been nice enough to join us here to answer some questions.
Didn't promise him.
He doesn't need any easy questions.
That's an easy question.
I think I know that one.
Yeah, it'd be good if you said.
I need some easy questions. They've been tough ones lately.
That's exactly right.
Well, Jordan Zimmerman will lead it off as we go to the 3rd. It seems like every time we have you on, we're talking about injury updates. So those are the questions that we don't even ask. We just say, all right, what are the updates as Zimmerman reaches on a base hit? But there seem to be a lot of them as the season moves on.
Dr. Sakati saw our 3 walking wounded pitchers, Mr. DeFreitas, Mr. Herndon, and Mr. Stutz. DeFreitas actually has been cleared to throw, which is a good thing. He'll be throwing starting on Friday. David Herndon had to have a PRP injection. He had some residual soreness in his elbow, so we decided to go ahead and do that. And we'll probably reevaluate him in about 2 weeks to see if he can begin throwing program. And then and Michael Stutz with his shoulder. Again, we're probably going to hold him off for another maybe 10 days or 2 weeks and see if and reevaluate him. We're being real conservative with those guys. Obviously, we want to be careful and make sure that we don't add insult to injury there and make sure that those guys come back for the end of the year. But right now we're kind of on hold on most of those guys.
Lombardozzi fouls the first pitch back, or second pitch back, so it's no balls at 2 strikes. Well, DeFreitas, first of all, that's good news because he hasn't thrown really consistently since spring training.
No, he hasn't, and had to be shut down for the elbow. We don't believe it's a UCL problem, but anytime you have the the elbow involved, you want to be conservative with it. It's the first time the kid's ever been had a problem with any body part at all. And so, we want to be conservative with him and be careful with him. And I think he's probably a little spooked too. So we'll be conservative with those guys. Or young guys with young arms. We want to make sure there's no long-term issues with them.
Well, while you're on a roll with a red cross, there's a base hit up the middle. Zimmerman's going to stop at second. Utley and Howard.
Yeah, Udd has been taking ground balls and hitting and doing things. He's progressing each day, which is good. We don't have any timetables for him. If I had an answer, I'd be able to, if I could answer the questions, I'd answer them. But frankly, I have no idea when he's going to be back. Hopefully, we'll get him down to Clearwater at some point. I know he's traveling with the club on this road trip coming up, and we're hopeful to get him down to Clearwater at some point.
Well, there's a hanger that Bryce Harper sends into the alley in right center field. One run definitely is going to score. And here comes Lombardozzi. He's going to score. And it's a 2-run triple. So it's 2-1 Nationals as Harper picks up his 3rd triple of the year. So 3 straight hits given up by Doc.
I love being on the air when we get whacked around, guys. It's really very helpful.
We love having you.
Every time I get on the air, this is the last time I'm doing this. Where's Halleck?
Jeff Halleck, our producer, is across the street in the production room, the production center.
You can't get to him.
Well, it's 2-1 Washington. That'll bring Chad Tracy to the plate. So Halliday looking for an out right here. All right, well, you're talking about Chase, and then Ryan's down in Clearwater.
Ryan's down in Clearwater. He's doing pretty much everything right now. Right now, the biggest thing for him is getting his strength and his calf back. Obviously, that infection has pushed things back considerably for him, and I think he's grinding it out right now. I know that he's working very hard, wants to get back as quickly as possible. He's taking ground balls, he's throwing, he's hitting, he's running. So he's doing a variety of things right now, baseball things, to try to get himself ready. But it's about strength, and he's got to be able to get some of that strength back. It may not, maybe up to a year before he gets full strength back in that calf because of the nature of the injury and the surgery. But I got to believe that at least at some point during the course of this year, we'll get him back. I mean, we'll hopefully he gets back sometime in June. But again, I can't put any timetable on because we've never really had to deal with this kind of an injury and just don't know how long it's going to take.
Well, the other part of putting a timetable on, you don't want to be let down either because you want him to progress at his pace to make sure that he's as healthy as he possibly can. Isn't that true?
Really, it's about just getting the guy healthy and getting him back, as you said, at the pace that's necessary. And right now he's doing baseball stuff, which is big.
There's a pop-up over toward Polanco, who's under it and makes the catch.
Now, while we're on this subject, and you've been in baseball your whole life, I feel like I have. Why do we talk about injuries so much with every team? There just seems to be so many more injuries, and the money that's on the DL in this sport. You got a theory?
I think more than anything else, I think the players are so finely tuned now. They try to take care of their bodies so well. I mean, we used to have a saying that why you get such in good shape? You can't pull fat.
That's right. I mean, they used to work all winter and then come to spring training to work off whatever they put on during the winter, and then they'd play. I don't know. Maybe they were hurt back then, but they didn't say it as much.
I think that's probably true. I mean, when a guy said way back when his arm went dead, I mean, he probably had a labral tear that, that now the diagnostics and, the way you can study injury and the way you analyze injury and obviously for the long-term health of a player, we're a lot more conservative. We want to try to get these guys on the field, and we want to make sure they get back on the field. And sometimes, a player that maybe in the 60s, with a dead arm, his career's over. We're trying to prolong that career, especially when we were talking about long-term contracts that are guaranteed. You want to try to get the guy back and healthy and be conservative with him so that we can get him back and be productive for us. And just, you don't put that guy on the shelf. You try to get him rehabbed, and you try to get him back, have a surgery, and go from there.
1-2 pitch to LaRoche. He tried to check. No swing, says Adrian Johnson. So it's 2-2. Well, I guess like Vance Worley, who went and got a second opinion from Dr. Andrews. He just wanted to assure himself that there was nothing else going on in that elbow.
Which is well within his rights. And Vance, again, we talked about he's got a small body, I guess. It's embedded in the lining of his joint. It may have something to do with the inflammation, may not. It's something that we hopefully will deal with it as far as taking it out after the season. But right now he's going to go ahead and throw and pitch to tolerance, and hopefully we'll get him going here soon.
Has he told you if he's in a lot of pain when he throws?
It's just soreness. He had some stiffness and some inflammation. And right now, he seems to be doing better. But again, I haven't gotten the report from Scott today on whether he threw or not today. But we did talk to Jimmy Andrews, Dr. Andrews down there in Pensacola, and basically same diagnosis that we had from Dr. Scott and our people at Rothman.
Well, 2 balls and 2 strikes to LaRoche, and that just missed off the outside corner. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Team-wise, 5 games back right now. Nobody's running away with this division. So when you talk to Charlie or talk to the players, you just try to keep their heads up and try to keep them, moving forward and try to maintain a sharpness. Obviously, last night wasn't overly sharp, but try to maintain the sharpness.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we haven't done very well. I mean, we just haven't played good, sound, fundamental baseball. I mean, our outfield play's been shoddy at times. Our base running's been shoddy at times. Where situational hitting has been poor. Those things we need to be able to do well while we don't have the whole arsenal. I mean, we have 9 guys on the DL. We better play good baseball. We haven't done that all that well. And it's become a concern.
Victorino gets behind that ball and lets loose of one to the plate, but Harper slides in safely. So a sacrifice fly, and it's 3-1.
Was that guy really a catcher?
He's a good runner.
Seriously, when you watch him run.
No, he runs aggressively. He plays the game right, plays the game well, and he's a good player. He's going to be a very good player in this league.
Hey, Halladay made a good pitch, too, to LaRoche, and he hit it off the end of the bat. Shane did everything he could, but this guy does run well.
You see the tag box right there. The odds are you're not going to get him, but the throw is right on line. It just amazes me that all you heard about him as being an amateur catcher, and then watch a guy run like that.
Well, they moved him out to the outfield pretty quickly after he was drafted, and I think to preserve his legs, I think that's one of the things that was important for him, was to get him out there and get him out on the field. He obviously has a good arm and has pretty good baseball sense, so they got him back out of there and put him in the outfield. He's played basically all 3 outfield positions, mostly a cornerback.
The ball is hit well to left field. Pierre's going back on the track, and Ian Desmond has homered again. His 8th home run of the year, and it's 4-1 in favor of the Nationals.
It looks like this inning, Doc's not all that sharp. He's been up in the zone a little bit, and they've whacked him around a little bit.
And Desmond's such a fastball hitter. It looked like he went off a curveball or something off speed.
Yeah,
there
was up in the zone. Yep.
Yeah, trying to get him off his fastball. And see if it's not a breaking ball or a cut.
It wasn't that bad of a pitch.
No,
he's been swinging the bat well.
So 23 pitches in the inning for Doc, and here's Danny Espinosa, who bunts foul, and it's 0-1. Hey, last injury update. How's Jim Thome doing down in Clearwater?
Jim Thome's doing really well. He's going to be back. I guess he got back to Clearwater. He had a funeral to attend and we hope that he's going to start getting into some rehab at bats right now, as far as getting live at bats. So we'd like to get him geared up to be ready for the interleague play if we can, for DH, put him in a DH mode. But he's going to start taking some at bats here, we believe. And
he just threw Ruiz out of the game.
Carlos Ruiz just thrown out of the ball game. Talking about those pitches that were so close. Charlie's going to come out and talk to Gary Cedarstrom. There were a couple pitches earlier in the inning that he held the glove at, I thought were pretty close.
Well, one to LaRoche, I think 2-2's one of them, with all those foul balls before that.
Wow, that's a shame. Gary Cedarstrom, the crew chief of this umpiring crew, throws Carlos Ruiz out of the game. That was an awfully close pitch that Doc just threw.
Well, you can see there was some chirping. I mean, Carlos looked like he never turned around. Oh, man. A little bit. Oh, he does, yeah. We couldn't see from up here. Wow.
Well, it didn't get heated at all.
No.
Well, the conversation was going on. It almost looked like it was just a conversation.
Well, a lot of times they want the catcher looking straight ahead when they're doing that, so the crowd doesn't know what's going. The whole thing. But who knows what happened down there?
Well, Brian Schneider or Eric Kratz. Eric Kratz is available. It is Schneider who's going to come out. Eric is part of this roster now. Jimmy Rollins is on paternity leave. So Brian Schneider will take over. Nationals have scored 4 runs in this inning. There are 2 outs, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to Danny Espinosa. Let's ask you about Jimmy. Jimmy is on paternity leave. Eric Kratz is here. And I guess the thought is that Jimmy will be back for the Cardinal series?
Yeah, he has to be back. It's a minimum of 1 day and a maximum of 3 days that he has the paternity leave, unless there's obviously complications, which there are not. He's everything's going well with he and the baby and Jahari, but as is their right, they can take some time to spend some time with their new loved one.
Did that begin yesterday or today?
No, we started that. We put him on paternity leave today officially. And so he has till Friday. However, I do believe he will be coming back earlier than that, but it still remains to be seen.
All right, 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Espinosa. That ball's hit sharply to second. A 1-hopper to Fontenot. He takes care of Espinosa. The inning is over. 4 runs score in the inning. Ruben, we appreciate it as always. You coming on?
No problem. I wish I brought better luck.
Well, maybe it'll carry over to the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Okay.
All right, Ruben Amaro, our guest up here in the booth. Doc's given up 4 runs here in the 3rd. We'll be back with the Phillies and Juan Pierre when we return. Right now for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. By McDonald's, get a large sweet tea for $1. And by Nissan's National 10 event. For a limited time, get bonus cash on Altima and Rogue. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer today. Bottom of the 3rd, Juan Pierre will lead it off. Phillies are down 4-1, and they're down a catcher. Ian Desmond has homered in this ball game. He provided the 4th run. And Pierre bunts back toward the mound, barehanded by Zimmerman, and he throws him out, 1 away. Charlie Manuel was ejected last week in the Astros series.
Excuse me, Tommy. Someone even after he had kind of a bemused look on his face. He was not about to get thrown out himself.
No.
Unless Cedar said something to him that really annoyed him. But it was more or less, what do you do?
Well, I know the rule. I mean, the unwritten rule. There's that word again. The unwritten rule is that a catcher should always look forward toward the mound.
They'll let you do a little bit more. They'll lean down and listen and everything. And maybe he told him to, cut it. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out.
0-2 the count to Polanco.
But nobody came here tonight to see him.
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't know what he said, but
Right.
there just needs to be a little more rope in a situation like
It
that.
was quick.
Polanco fly to center his first time up. We mentioned that there were a couple of close pitches in that inning. And Carlos may have even said something, during those other pitches, but
Right, you never
either
know
way.
what went on. You don't know what went on down there. We'll find out later.
Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Reds have taken a 2-1 lead over the Braves in the top of the third.
Washington lights that score.
And the Nats are a half game out in the National League East. Now, was Jesus Flores just saying something to Gary Cedarstrom too about the 0-2 pitch that was called a ball?
Got me.
To the right side, that'll sneak into right field. Polanco's aboard, a 1-out single.
Flores ought to take note of what just happened. Hear it down if he's having a problem.
Victorino lined out to left his first time up. Well, there's no secret that for the Phillies to get this rolling again, they need Shane to be as picture perfect as possible in that 3-hole. 5 home runs, 17 runs batted in.
They're really struggling left-handed this year. Right-handed, lights out.
But he's not alone. He's without Ryan Howard and without Chase Utley. A lot of the guys that have been a big part of the success have had to take on more responsibility. Charlie said it again last night that he thinks guys are just aren't playing as loose as they should be. That ball is lined to right field. Harper's not going to get it. It's over his head. A one-hop off the wall. He bobbles it momentarily. Over to third goes Polanco. Second and third with 1 out. That was a good swing by Victorino.
Yeah, we're just talking about how he's struggling left-handed. Those are the kind of things that get Shane Adams, because we know he can hit left-handed. He's had a lot of good years here as a switch hitter. Like a breaking ball there, maybe a curve ball. It's down a little bit. I think Zimmerman was trying to throw it to his back foot so he would swing over it, and he got it in the zone, and he hit it hard. Got to strike back right now. Get 1 at least, and hopefully 2.
Yeah, base hit will give you 2. A ground ball would give you 1 toward the middle.
This is where they've really, really struggled, and nobody more than the guy at the plate who's just so due.
Singled and scored the only run for the Phils back in the second. 4-1 Nationals here in the third. Breaking ball for a strike. The slider dropped over at the knees.
Ryan Snyder, of course, now in the 5-hole on deck after Ruiz is ejected.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Well, you got a good hard breaking ball too. That's what he's throwing there, sliders.
Lays off. 3 straight sliders from Zimmerman. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Max hit a high fastball last time back through the middle. I don't remember what he hit. I think he hit a fastball for his home run in Washington.
Yeah, because the second at bat it was a breaking.
Right, different pitcher.
Here's the 2-2. Outside, swung out and missed. And after another slider. First strikeout for Zimmerman.
Can't just shake his head. He just does not recognize that out of his hand, obviously, and he's swinging wildly. This is way out of the zone. That's all he was going to throw him there in that spot because he was trying to strike him out.
So 2 outs, second and third. Flores going out to the mound because Schneider is up for the first time. So a quick scouting report. Bryant has swung the bat well recently. You see 10 for his last 28. Shouldn't even say recently. That's most of the season now. He was 0 for his first 8. 10 for his last 28. Takes outside.
You play him opposite field too and give him a big gap in right center. A lot of pitches for both the starters tonight through 3. Not even through 3 at this point.
One ball, one strike. That was a changeup. He doesn't throw the changeup that often. Fastball, slider are his primary pitches, at least recently.
Yeah, and curveball used to be big pitch for him. Beautiful night here, not much breeze. Strange to see him throw a changeup with that gap in right center too, because they're playing him as if they're going to pitch him hard or pitch him away.
Fly ball, center field. And Keel is back a few strides, and the inning is over. So the Phillies threaten, do not score. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. We've completed our first 3, and the Nationals lead it by 3 as we go to the 4th. Offers free same-day delivery to most areas. Just call by 11:30. They deliver by 5. Who but WB Mason. Oh, the Phillies will be playing from behind here in the top of the 4th. They trail it 4-1. Roy Halladay will go back to work after he allowed 4 runs in the 3rd. Brian Schneider settles back in behind the plate. And Rick Ankiel will lead it off, and he hits the first pitch to straightaway center field. Boy, he whacked that one good. Victorino on the run, over his head and into the bushes. A solo home run for Rick Ankiel, who had been 1 for his last 21. It's his 3rd homer of the year, and it's 5-1 Washington.
Now Doc's starting to leave these balls out over the plate. Everybody knows you got to crowd and kill, see where it is, and I'm betting right down the middle. Yes, sir. You know, because when you get it inside, you're going to tie him up. I mean, you got to pitch him inside you where he can't get extended. That's a swing there where it's extended.
Well, Jesus Flores swings at the first pitch. 1 out here in the 4th.
And more so, all the balls are being hit hard, whether or not they're ground balls in, like Flores just hit. But again, out over the plate is no good for any pitcher.
Sarge, this is the guy who started the rally in the 3rd. Joe Savory starting to warm in the pen. That is not something you see that often in the 4th inning.
No.
Not when Doc's pitching. Broke his bat. Galvis charges. Off balance throw. In time to get Zimmerman, who was really busted up the first base line. 2 away.
Almost shows you how bad this team wants to beat the fighting field. Everybody hustling. Here's a pitcher here. Take a look at him. Good play, though, by Galvis coming in. And, I mean, he's running it and giving it all he has. Well, a lot of times, pitchers don't want to run that fast or hard to first base. Try and preserve their energy.
He wanted a knock.
Got to give him credit.
Lombardozzi singled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Want to know the count? Change up.
About where you want to pitch that and keel, kind of up and in.
Little looper to left field. That's going to drop for another hit. 8th hit for the Nationals. And Lombardozzi is 2 for 3.
They kind of fought that ball right off of him. That was an inside pitch. That was a pretty good pitch by Doug. Sometimes you got to give the hitter credit, which pitchers don't like to do. I can certainly understand that.
Bryce Harper's 2 for 2 tonight. His average has gone from 256 to 274. He's now 6 for 16 with 4 walks against the Phillies. Foul ball.
Okay,
it's 0-2.
You can get used to this guy getting hits. You know, he has a swing. Has pretty good balance. And I say that because the kid's only 19 years old. He's going to get better. He's going to get smarter. And he has something already that a lot of players don't have, and that is 100% hustle all the time.
And he's called out on strikes as he takes a pitch at the knees. Halladay allows a run on the home run by Rick Ankiel. 2 hits overall. Nationals leave 1. We've completed 3.5. We go on to the bottom of the 4th. Purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Home half of the fourth. Phillies down 5-1. Hector Luna, Freddie Galvis, Mike Fontenot. Luna gave the Phils a 1-0 lead in the second. Well, then the Nationals scored 4 in the third and added 1 more in the fourth. So now back to work for the offense. And it's 1-0.
Still got plenty of time, however. Start getting base runners. Pitchers will pitch differently. Don't have to go for home runs. Need to just go to drive the ball. Just see it. Be smart about what you're trying to do up at the plate.
I think the hard part, Sarge, is that even after the Phillies scored the run in the second, they had a runner on second base. Freddie Galvis grounded out, then the intentional walk to Fontenot, and of course Doc was up next, so that was the last out. Then in the third, they get second and third, which is 1 out, and they just can't even score the 1 run.
Yeah.
That's the deflating part.
Yeah. And that's what happens too, and more pressure comes on the hitters there when you get runners in scoring position when you haven't knocked in a run. And yeah, Hunter unfortunately comes up probably with more guys on base than anybody on the team.
Well, and as the cleanup hitter, I guess that, from a baseball standpoint, that's what you normally would want.
3, 4, and 5 usually are the guys, for whatever reason, that comes up a little bit more than some of the others with runners in scoring position or runners on.
2-2 the count to Luna. Ball's hit to center field for the first out. So 1 away. Freddie Galvis is due up. Let's bring in Murph. Murph, what's going on up there?
Well, T-Mac will get you caught up on the Gwinnett Mercy College Major League notebook. Kevin Youkilis is back with the Red Sox. He's not at third base, though. He is at first base. Will Middlebrooks is staying at third base, and they sent Adrian Gonzalez out there to right field. What about bad news for Padres lefty Corey Lupke? He has an elbow problem. He's going to have season-ending surgery. He will be on the DL. Hopes to be back next May. And T-Mac, what would you pay for a game-worn Babe Ruth 1920s road jersey? How about $4.42 million?
Nope.
It's the largest sports memorabilia item ever auctioned off. It went off today. $4.42 million. How about that, T-Mac?
I wouldn't pay $4.42 million for a used jersey. Sorry,
wow.
How about you?
That is a lot of money for one of the greatest players that have ever played the game. But Murph, I might have to pass on that one.
I don't know. I think it would look good on you, Sarge. And hey, if you're wondering why I'm up here in Section 305, say hello to about 100 students from Bishop Shanahan High School out here to enjoy the game tonight.
Do you know everybody up there, Murph?
I know everybody up here at this point. They're enjoying themselves.
All right. Well, they get to come to a game. They get to be involved in one of Murph's hits.
It's pretty
Doesn't
good.
get any better than that. Now all
No.
they're looking for is some runs.
Yeah, that would be nice. Got to start playing a little bit better now with these teams that you're getting ready to face.
Well, 2 outs now in the fourth. And speaking of Kevin Youkilis, he's hit a home run off the disabled list. Playing first, Adrian Gonzalez walked into Bobby Valentine's office yesterday and said, Bobby, if you're taking Uke off the DL, put me in right field.
Wow.
Sarge, that's your investment of $4.2 million.
Oh, boy. I mean, looks good, but
That blue looked kind of odd, didn't it?
it's a little old right now. It's probably fading a little bit, too.
What would you wear it with, Sarge? Jeans?
Oh, I don't even own a pair of jeans, Tom, to be quite frank. And
Would you wear it with khakis?
I
What would
wouldn't
you wear?
even wear it. I'd have that in the vault, like I'm sure it's going, or a museum someplace.
Fontenot loops one over the head of Ian Desmond for a base hit, a 2-out single. So Doc will bat here in the fourth. So Fontenot's second hit of the series.
Yeah, I got a bunch of few hits together. Good night to be hitting. Ball will travel. Feels a little bit warm.
Doc had a fielder's choice his first time up. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Chien-Ming Wang, who's warming in the pen, just added to the roster today. Zimmerman's 69 pitches. He's got the pitcher up. I don't know if he's just getting work or what.
Well, Zimmerman throwing that ball 94 fastball, so he's still throwing pretty good. Plate doesn't have corners tonight.
Nope. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2. So that means that Fontenot will be off and running.
See Zimmerman looking in. That's the pitches. Those are the pitches that pitchers want. Oh, just off the corner, maybe a little bit.
Roy hits it the other way. It's a base hit to right field. Fontenot will go to third. Halliday's aboard. First and third with 2 outs. Yeah, that's why Chien-Ming Wang is warming up. So now it's Pierre who have a chance to drive in a run and get the Phils back in this game offensively.
Yeah, that's just good hitting there by Doc. Again, we've talked about it before. You get to those counts where you can take the guesswork out of it. Automatic fastball there. You just missed with a slider. What else is he going to throw the pitcher but a fastball? Doc able to hit that ball right down the right field line.
Pierre takes a strike and it's 0-1. Pierre's 0 for 2. And now he's in the hole 0-2.
Yeah, he's kind of tied Pierre up too here a little bit. That bunt that he bunted right back to Zimmerman. We talked about that before. You want to go for the lines. That way, if it goes foul, you still have more chances.
Hits that one softly to the right side. Espinosa throws him out. Phillies threaten again, but do not score. They get a couple base runners for the second straight inning. Actually, third straight inning. We go to the 5th. It's 5-1 Washington. Or tonight's Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. Tomorrow you can come to the ballpark and see Edwin Jackson against Cole Hamels. 7:05 first pitch. There are some seats still available. You can check in at Phillies.com and make your purchase. Cole will be facing the Nationals for the first time since that Sunday night game, which led to his suspension. Doc's finished up his warm-up tosses here in the fifth. Nationals are up 5-1. Out in Cincinnati, the Reds lead the Braves 4-2 in the bottom of the fourth. Mets are on top of the Pirates 1-0. And Miami has wiped away a 3-run deficit again. And they lead the Rockies 5-3.
Well, one of the things, though, for the Fighting Fields, they got to worry about what's going on right here at their own ballpark. No, they need to fix their own house before they can start to worry about anything else.
Phillies are 10-12 here at this ballpark.
Yeah, and then at home, that's just not having good home cooking. And more so, you're having clubs and like the Nationals coming in, that they really feel that they can now compete with the Fighting Fields, and whether or not anyone else thinks it, they're the ones that feel it.
Strikeout of Chad Tracy, one away here in the fifth.
And they're playing like it.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, obviously the Phillies have to play better. They have to do a number of things better. But if you look around the division, which is the best division in the National League, they started play tonight 5 games behind the Braves. Truly, nobody's running away with the division.
No. See, and that's what's really good about it when you're not playing well, that you're still not out by a lot of games. And you really figure, as you look at Davey Johnson, the manager, you really feel that you're going to be able to come back.
He's a play for Luna, 2 outs as he retires LaRoche. Yeah, since the Nationals got off to a 14-4 start, first 18 games.
Yep.
They're 11-13. You know, in that same span of time, you know, the Phillies are 1 game under 500. So they've been playing, you know, neck and neck with the Nationals. Now the Braves are another story. They've played better since the first 3 weeks of the season.
Right. Braves are playing pretty good. You look at that Miami club, they end up getting hot there, you know, a little bit. But the series are what counts. You got to win those series from each and every one of the teams, especially in your division. If you can do that, things are going to work out good for you. If you can't, it's going to be a little bit tough for you. It's just plain and simple.
Ian Desmond, the hitter, he homered his last time up. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Now 2-1.
Yeah, this guy's coming into his own. They're looking for big things. Talking with Bo Porter, one of the reasons they feel he's hitting better is that he's changed his diet, not eating a lot of fast foods anymore the way that you would when you're in that minor leagues, and consequently swinging the bat a lot better. Another one of those players that you can build around, and you always do that with those players that play shortstop, center field, catching.
Up and in, 3-2. Three-two pitch, fouled away.
A lot of confidence this team has when you're in that clubhouse and talking to some of these their players. You get the feeling that they feel they're just as good a ball club right now.
Well, there's ball 4. Well, obviously, if they are going to be as good as the Phillies have been the last 5 years, they have to play well within their division. And there have been a number of divisional games, Murph, so far. And for the Nationals, this is game 2 of 15 in a row against the National League East.
Yeah, they're really going to be tested over the next couple weeks as they play teams in their division. If you take a look at it right now, the Mets have done a real good job NL East wise, 14-7 so far in their 21 games against the NL East. Washington also very good, 7-2, although they haven't played a whole lot. And you see the Phils there, 6-10, and that is it's so different than the years past. You take a look. Last season, 43-29 were the Phillies against the NL East. Part of the reason that they were able to, run away with the division last year and win 102 games.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Mets are 5-1 too this year against them. You got to start to win your division.
Desmond looked like he may have slid past the bag, but he was away from Galvis. Yeah, was able to hang on.
I think in previous years, the Fighting Phils, one of the reasons they end up winning it is because they played so well in that National League East.
Well, there's certainly, we're all in agreement of this, aren't we, guys? There's certainly plenty of games left within the division to get back within reach, but they just have to keep playing better.
Yeah, you got to see that you are playing better. If one phase of the game isn't going well, not driving in runs, you got to play better defense. You got to run the bases better. And you're pointing out things that have been wrong with the club. And let's face it, if they were running the bases better, they wouldn't be in first place, but they'd be better than what they are right now. And really, that's what it's all about, consistency in playing.
It's 2-1 to Danny Espinosa, who reached on an infield single in the second. Grounded to second his last time up. And now 2-2. The air to right field, right down the line. Pence on the run, slides, and he makes the catch in fair territory. Oh, nice way to finish up the top of the fifth inning. Hunter Pence limping as he comes out of that slide. The side is retired. No runs, no hits. One man left. Hunter Pence helping out the cause here at the top of the fifth, and he brings this ball game to the bottom. Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Michael Barkat and Phillies top sports writers have plenty to talk about. Watch the best talk of Philly sports on Daily News Live tomorrow at 5 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, Hunter Pence in between innings trying to get some of the clay off. Sam Perlazzo asking if he's okay, and Try to just step out of the way of Sam.
Yeah, you know, sometimes when you slide, back in the day they used to call them strawberries, where you slide and you have your skin, where if it's where if you've actually have marks there on it, where you've what am I trying to say?
Cut it up a little bit.
Once you've cut it up, if anybody even nearly touches it,
it's got that burning feeling.
Oh. And that's what he was doing. Like, oh, no, don't put your hand there on it.
There's a strike to Polanco. It's 2-1. Polanco, Victorino, and Pence. Out of play, 2-2.
Still had a good fastball here so far, 93, 94. Get a couple of men on, see if he's able to keep that same type of composure.
Phillies have had base runners, though, in scoring position that Zimmerman's worked around. They're 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position, 5 for their last 37.
Now, I think guys have to realize that if you put the ball in play, it doesn't have to be a hit every single time. There's good things that happens sometimes when you make outs.
Fly ball to center. And a can of corn for Ankiel. One out here in the 5th. Here's Victorino. He doubled his last time up. 1 for 2. His average of 263. Shane now with 3 hits in the series. And he takes strike 1. Back toward the middle, Desmond scoops it up and throws him out for the second out. So 2 outs for Hunter Pence. Friday, June 1st, when the Marlins come to town in celebration of the Be a Fanatic About Reading Literacy Night presented by Comcast, fans are asked to donate a book to benefit the Philadelphia Reads program. All book donations will be accepted at all gates, and fans donating a book will have the opportunity to win an autographed item. Got any extra books laying around, Sarge?
Yeah, sure do.
The first one that you wrote?
I have all 3 of them, Tom.
When did the first one come out?
Well, that came out a little while, a long time ago.
I didn't even know about the first
one. That came out after 1983 when I went to the World Series there with the Phillies.
What was that book called? They Call Me the Sarge?
That's right.
2-1 the count. Who wrote that with you?
Well, with Triumph Books.
Triumph Books, okay.
Yep, exactly. And the only reason I know is that the publisher had actually called me and reminded me of that.
Swing and a miss, 2-2 to Pence.
Boy, just coming off the ball tremendously. He's got to go through the ball, and he's not swinging as hard, but again, he's just not able to reach it. Almost like he's running out of bat when they throw the ball on the outside part of the plate. Then they throw the ball up high, fastball, and he'll swing at that at times. Got to get back to the basics when things aren't going well.
One is just fouled on the first base line. So 3-2, 2 outs. That was a hot shot. Alicia had to let that go by and let it stop rolling before she picked it up.
Oh yeah, ball coming. Once that hits that little gate out there, it can just ricochet anywhere.
We're going to see if he went around. No, since Lance Barksdale. A 2-out walk. He was truly trying to get out of the way of that one, and the bat started to move a little bit.
Yeah, and it was. The thing is, too, though, as he ends up getting out of the way of the ball, we talked about how you do that. That is actually to go back, look the other way, spinning the other way. But they throw it up high like that because he has a reputation of swinging at that particular pitch, and especially with 2 strikes.
Ryan Schneider swings at the first pitch. C&I base hit it to right field. Pence on his way to third. So the Phillies have first and third with 2 men down.
Well, that's good base running. Like that first and third. Well, Harper kind of showing that arm off. He's got a good arm. One of the other reasons they think this kid's going to be an all-around player, Bryce Harper in right field. Take a look at Pence as he goes in, and he's sliding hard again, safe with no problem.
Well, he might be safe and secure with New York life, but those pants aren't going to be.
Right, they can maybe squeak a run or 2, you know, in this inning, get just a little bit close. Don't have to always get them back all at once. Want to just chip away, and end up getting that lead, giving that ball to Papelbon, and let's see what happens.
I like the way you're drawing it up. Luna doubled homer run his first time up. Lined out to center his last time up. Takes inside. Most likely Zimmerman's last inning, although he's held the Phils to a 1-for-6 mark with runners in scoring position tonight. You see their numbers over the last 37 at-bats.
Yeah.
He's thrown a lot of pitches. There have been a lot of threats.
See whether or not Zimmerman will throw another breaking ball, maybe come with the fastball. Luna should be looking for his pitch. Not necessarily trying to hit that ball out, just trying to hit a solid single. Take it, though, if it goes out. Pretty good pitch.
Pence over at third. Schneider at first. Two balls, 1 strike to count. 3-1. Got Galvis on deck, so I guess he's figuring I'm not going to give in to Luna with a fastball.
Well, he's been throwing. That's 3 back-to-back sliders there that he's thrown. See whether or not he comes back with another slider or that fastball.
Ground ball to third. That's a foul ball. Well, thank goodness, because Tracy, although Luna stopped, made a pretty good throw.
Tell you what, another slider that he threw. Luna looking to try and pull that ball, looking for that ball, maybe middle in to try and drive the ball. Zimmerman not giving in, however, throwing him the slider. Hmm. 21 pitches this inning.
Look at you saw the pitches per inning. This has been a struggle. This is pitch number 22. And a called strike 3. The slider on the inside part of the plate. Luna thought it was in tight. The Phillies leave a couple more. No runs, no hits. Or excuse me, 1 hit, 2 men left. Phils have left 8 through 5. arguably the top catcher in the National League through the first 2 months of the season. Carlos Ruiz's defense has, and always will be solid behind the plate for the Phils. His offense has advanced to a whole nother level. Chooch has been there with run production for his team when it was needed the most. This will hopefully lead to a well-deserved first All-Star appearance. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, Carlos ejected from the game earlier. Brian Schneider is behind the plate. Phillies down 5-1. Roy Halladay goes back to work here in the 6th. And the first pitch to Rick Ankiel, who homered his last time up, is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Ankiel rips it foul, 1-1. Sarge, I mean, you've been around this game for a long time. I mean, you've seen guys get thrown out. I'm sure you've been thrown out before for chirping with the umpire. This is what happened. Carlos thought that pitch was a strike, and he let Gary Cedarstrom know about it.
Yeah, and it was. I thought it was a strike. The only thing you can't do, you just can't spend that much time in looking back. A lot of times you can say what you want and continue to look forward, and if you do that, usually you can have your say.
You know, and I could be way off on this because I don't know what was said, but it didn't look at all heated. I mean, they both had masks on, but there was no. He never stood up. He never.
Right, and you never know what Gary said. He might have said, "Hey, that's enough,"
yeah,
and you keep talking. But again, he could do that if he's looking forward or just looking down at the ground. The minute you turn around and look at an umpire and you start talking, they're going to think you're stirring it up or you're showing them up. One of the two.
Swing and a miss. And Keel is a strikeout victim. So 1 away. Jesus Flores is the hitter. I guess sometimes that I wish that egos would be set aside and you just let the game be played.
Well, I mean, you do. I don't know if the guys really understand that how heated the game actually gets. They should, because they've been, you know, in the major leagues. And Gary Cedarstrom was in the minor leagues, 18 years before he was actually called up. I think that it should be a little bit closer there with the players. You look at the NBA refs, I mean, the guys are able to come up and kind of put their hands on them and talk at times. Well, you better not do that here in the major leagues because you'll get in serious trouble. But you should be able to have your say, or to be able, you know, as long as you're not showing him up that way, and to show your displeasure.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Jesus Flores. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out.
And the other thing is, I mean, Chooch, he's protecting his pitchers. He knows his pitcher's out there working. And when he throws it out over the plate, there he gets hit hard, so he pitched it right where Chooch wanted it.
Flores went, according to Cedarstrom. Another strikeout for Doc. That's 6 strikeouts on the night. I have to admit, I'm surprised that Zimmerman is batting here in the top of the 6th, but I guess he does have a 4-run lead, so I figure why go to the pen this early. Plus, he's got 2 hits. Got a hit in the 3rd inning to start that rally, and gets another hit here.
Yeah, he's a little smart there, too, and not actually trying to go for 2.
Monday, June 4th, kicks off a 4-game series between the Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. All fans coming to the ballgame on the 4th will receive the Cliff Lee bobblehead. It's brought to you by Toyota. Thursday the 7th is the Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Lombardozzi lifts it behind the second base bag. Fontenot on the run, makes a nice catch. The side is retired, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Doc is through 6. He's allowed 5 so far. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. He's due up 3rd. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com. And by Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. Thea Desmond and Rick Ankiel both have gone yard tonight for the Nationals. It's all part of this 5-1 lead for Washington. Phillies got their run in the second. They took the lead 1-0.
Yep.
And we're spoiled when Roy's on the mound. When you get a 1-0 lead, you're thinking, all right, he can make that even stand up.
Well,
he's that good.
You play this game long enough. Mays would say that to us all the time. No one escapes that you don't have 1 or 2 years where things just don't go right. And guess what? He's still leading the league in certain categories. Coming into the game, innings pitched.
His spot is up third in this inning. Freddie Galvis will lead it off and a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Tom Gorzelani starts the throw as the inning gets underway. Zimmerman has thrown 98 pitches so far. To left field, and they had him play perfectly for the first out.
That's what those spray charts do for you. Wonder where the fielders are actually placed. There's a reason why they're placed. We'll have scouts that come to the ballpark, chart everywhere that the hitter hits the ball. They put all that together with other games they played and decide exactly where to play each and every one of the players.
Won the count to Fontenot. Singled his last time up, an intentional walk his first time up. Fly ball left field. 2 outs, and the batter will be Ty Wigginton here in the 6th. So Doc tonight goes 6 innings. He allowed 9 hits and 5 runs. Oh, and 1 the count to Wigginton. His average of 250. Couple home runs, 14 RBIs.
Before it's all said and done, Doc will be back. It's too good of a pitcher not to. And mean coming back where he's going to be able to hit his spots and, start pitching the way that normally we've seen him.
Don't forget, though, he has those games where he allowed 1, 1, 2, and 1.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Phillies didn't score for him.
Didn't score for
him.
Him.
Those you would think in normal years would be 4 wins, if not maybe 3, but at least 3 wins, if not 4.
No doubt.
1-2 the count to Wigginton. Fly ball to center field. Plenty of room for Ankiel. He'll trot under it. And Jordan Zimmerman has done a nice job tonight. He's been in trouble a handful of different times, but he's worked through 6 innings. We go to the 7th here at Citizens Bank Park, and it's all Nationals. They're up 5-1.
Phils had a 1-0 lead in this game, but then a big 4-run third inning by the Nationals. Home runs by Ian Desmond, and then Rick Ankiel in the 4th inning, and Jordan Zimmerman's throwing a lot of pitches. Worked out of a couple jams, but throwing up some goose eggs, and Phillies trail this one 5-1. Tom, as we go to the 7th.
Yeah, they'll turn the ball game over to Jake Diekman, who is getting set for his 4th game. He's 1-0. His earned run average is 12. That's because of one outing in Chicago. His other 2 have been perfects. 6 strikeouts in 3 innings. So he'll face Bryce Harper, Chad Tracy, Adam LaRoche, all left-handed hitters, which is why he's in the game. Harper has 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 3 with a 2-run triple. And he hits one to shortstop. It's a good pitch, boy. He had him pulling off a little bit. So 1 away. Murph, last time out, Diekman really rebounded from his outing in Chicago, and he told me that he was just a little too quick on the mound. Rich Doobie said the same thing. But it was nice to see him bounce back the way he did.
Yeah, it really was, Tom. Jake Diekman was so good in his first outing, and then he really struggled, as you mentioned, in Chicago. So after his 3rd outing, after he struck out the side, he came back into the dugout. I happened to be down there at the end, and Rich Doobie came over to him and said, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you trust your stuff. You come in there, you trust your stuff, and you just throw strikes. And he said, that's the kind of bounce-back inning I was looking at of you. And obviously, Jake Diekman was thrilled with the way he pitched in that game because he needed that as well.
And then, of course, a little levity, you were saying, after he said all that. And, Rich is very upbeat when he knows he needs to be, and he certainly was in that spot. But then a little levity after that.
Well, yeah, so he had struck out the side, and then we were heading into the bottom of the 9th inning, and he said, so, Jake, can you hit? And Jake looked at him and said, well, not really. And Rich said, don't worry about it. We're going to hit for you. You don't have to go out there and hit. He wanted no parts of that, it looked like.
Oh, he's got back-to-back outs. That was a nasty pitch to Chad Tracy. So 2 outs, and it'll bring LaRoche to the plate.
He probably doesn't even have a helmet. Here's that slider. As Tom said, nasty pitch. You set up with get ahead of him, and we've seen in a little bit of time Diekman's been up, and also in spring training. If he gets ahead of guys, he can bury him with a breaking ball.
Well, now another left-hander. LaRoche is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. That was back in the 3rd. 32 RBIs now. At the knees with a fastball. It's 0-1.
Certainly has come in and thrown strikes. Like, how about 5 of them in 5 pitches? Considering the first pitch to Harper, he hit the short. Yeah, they've never seen him before, and you can see LaRoche going, "Ooh, man, he took a lot off that thing. That's tough to handle."
Well, LaRoche is a former pitcher. In fact, for the first couple of years of his career, he still did pitch in the bullpen just to stay sharp. The 0-2 got him. Back-to-back breaking pitches. One at 81, that one at 82. 7 pitch innings, 7 strikes for Jake Diekman. The maturation continues for the Phillies' young left-hander as we stretch here at the ballpark. Time now for the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia quiz answer. All right, Wheels, here's your layup. On a night where there hasn't much easy going on. Which team originally drafted Jason Worth with the 22nd pick in the first round of the 97 MLB drafts?
No idea. Just kidding. Let's give
You're supposed to play along with it, Wheels. You're supposed to say no idea, and I'll give you a hint.
Well, no, you might have buzzed me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's give Pat Gillick a little credit for that. He was the general manager of the Baltimore Orioles.
Yes, he was. That is correct. Drafted as a
Catcher.
Log back onto Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing. Dodge Stump the Fans. Jake Diekman is
no helmet.
No, he has no helmet. He doesn't look like he's ready to get up to the plate. Although if his spot comes up, it'll be 9 away. Tom Gorzolani.
If his spot comes up, no matter how many men you've been leaving on base, you've scored something.
That's a good point.
Thanks.
Gorzolani on for Zimmerman, who goes 6 innings. So from the hard-throwing right-hander, they go to the, well, not as hard-throwing left-hander, Gorzolani. And this will be the first out on the tapper back to the mound. So 1 away here in the 7th. And here comes Placido Polanco. He's 1 for 3.
Diekman didn't throw a whole lot of pitches in that inning. Another inning, but he's coming in. He's got another inning.
Unless they get to his spot.
Which would be very nice.
He threw only 7 pitches in the top of the 7th.
He had all left-handed hitters, and that's what they wanted to do, bring him in against left-handers, because they don't see him real well.
0-1 to Polanco. And no balls and 2 strikes. That young man hopefully is going to keep on developing and be a huge asset for this Phillies bullpen.
Nebraska guy. Whitey would have loved him. Even though he's a pitcher.
I thought about that. Chad Tracy throws out Polanco. And there are 2 outs. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Did you know you get a megaphone in those fan packs there, Wiz?
No. Just so we don't have any of those in the office. That's all we need is more noise in there.
Here's Victorino. And Shane hits it to center field. Playable for Ankiel. And Gorzolani, well, he matched Diekman and then pulled away 1. He threw 6 pitches to get through his 7th inning. On to the 8th, with the Nationals leading at 5-1. AT Rethink Possible. And by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Those young ladies in the first row are trying to emulate what's going on in the dugout, the Phillies dugout, the Fanatic Dance. There's some of the young ladies from the Baseball 101 program from today here at the ballpark. That young lady there with the glasses is walking behind the Fanatic. All she wanted today was to just talk to Sarge, and she got her picture taken with Sarge today. It was kind of a neat moment.
It was fun. It really was. Sarge accommodated.
And he said, all you have to do, Tom, Wheels, and Murph, is just remember to be nice to people.
Be nice, that's all.
Baseball 101 program, as we mentioned before, is a program that the Phillies started several years ago, which has really taken on a life of its own. It's a great program. Women from around the Delaware Valley, as Ian Desmond fouls that one off Brian Schneider. Women around the Delaware Valley come here to the ballpark, and they get a chance to meet some of the coaches. They meet Frank Koppenbarger, the Phillies director of team travel and clubhouse operations.
He's got a good act working down
He does.
There. He really does. Frank brings out his best material.
Scott Palmer MCs.
Does a great job. Right off the right shoulder. Ow.
Oh, and 0-1 the count to Ian Desmond. 0-2 the count. As we mentioned before, there's one more Baseball 101 program later on this year. I think it's in August.
Yeah. Normally they're in May and August. Last year you had the earthquake the day the ladies were here, right? Had to go out in the street for a little while. I said, what was that? Is that part of the program?
Forgot all about the earthquake.
I was thinking about that coming in today. That I thought that happened last year.
1-2 the count. Desmond 1 for 2. Walked his last time up. Tries to fight that one off, foul.
Seeing Brian Schneider get hit by that pitch, you realize that, how tough it is. There's Jose Contreras getting ready. How tough it is on catchers and the beating they take back there. During the middle innings, I had a chance to see Bob Boone, who's here as the Washington Nationals executive, and down there in their GM box down the first base line. Talk about a guy who was raw meat behind home plate, tough, was Booney. All those years he caught, and man, they took a beating, and he took a beating, and just kept playing and playing. Had a great career.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the game for his time.
He was. He really was.
Defensively. There's Danny Espinosa. 3 strikeouts in a row, by the way, for Diekman.
He's been with the Washington organization for a number of years now, and he was with the Phillies for a little while as a guy working in the front office.
Espinosa's 1 for 3, an infield single in the second. Only the second pitch out of the strike zone for Diekman.
You want to see him against right-handers. They probably see the ball a little bit better from that side wind and move that he has, but his slider can be a back foot breaking ball to him and tough to handle, and it's a check swing type pitch.
The other thing too is the fastball, as you saw right there at 96, can come bearing down on the hands of that right-handed hitter if it's thrown properly.
Yeah, if he can run it in on him, it's tough to handle. Look out. Right in his own dugout.
One and 2 the count to Espinosa. And a base hit to center field. That was a breaking pitch that got too much to the plate on the outer half. So the first hit allowed by Diekman.
Hey, you don't know whether he's trying to backdoor him there or throw the back foot one and just missed.
Live from Atlantic City on Memorial Day at Arkansas Avenue and the beach, it's Comcast Sportsnet Phillies at the Beach viewing party. It's a free event. Enjoy watching the game at the beach on the big screen. Brought to you by Comcast Sportsnet. Festivities start at noon. Game time, Wheels, is 1 o'clock in New York. Fanatic will be there. Visit Phillies.com/beach for more information. Phillies will play 4 in St. Louis, and on Sunday night go to New York, play the day game on Monday. As Ankiel takes low. He has struck out twice tonight, but he's also hit a 400-foot home run.
It looks like Clippard's motion out there in the bullpen that he's starting to loosen up.
Unavailable last night, as we found out.
And that's what we thought, because they just didn't use him. It seemed like there were spots for him. He's a heck of a setup guy. Well, they're watching, maybe he's going to be a potential closer, too.
They even said today that they were going to keep him in the 8th inning.
Some guys tell them they hate to take him out of that role because they're so effective. And the 9th inning and the 8th inning, big difference.
One ball, one strike, the count to Ankiel. Runner goes, pitch is hit foul.
I think what they're watching right there is, his move. We haven't seen him move over to first that much, Diekman, and he doesn't have much of a move. He just kind of lobs. It looks like Tug used to do. McGraw, Tug didn't have a move, and he would just lob it over there, step off, fake it, and you almost got the feeling that they saw that and decided, we're going to try and run a little bit here. And he takes a little while to unwind.
Good pitch. 4th strikeout for Diekman, 2 outs. Here in the 8th. Charlie Manuel's going to come out. I think that's going to be it for him, as Jesus Flores will bat. So they'll bring in the right-hander. 20 pitches for Diekman.
But he struck out 4, and 3 of them were left-handed hitters, and that's what they really wanted to see in this inning. See that big sweeping breaking ball? That was not a real good one, but he threw a lot of real good ones when he was out there in this outing.
So Jose Contreras is coming in. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies down by 4. The young lefty Diekman did his job. Now it's up to Jose to get the last outs. Pitches, 17 strikes. And he'll turn the game over to Jose Contreras with a runner at first. And 2 men down. What a job by Diekman. 4 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3. After the ball game, get the latest news on the Phils on Sports Night, plus a breakdown of the Sixers Eastern Conference semifinal against the Celtics. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night, presented by Toyota. Tonight at 10, only on Comcast Sports Night.
Find out some things about Diekman and that kind of outing. Not a whole lot of pressure, 4-run game. But, can you trust him in a big spot? Can you trust him to come in and get a big left-hander, a left-handed hitter out? And the answer is becoming more and more, why not give it a try if it happens?
The numbers for Contreras, his earned run average has gotten better, just as the Phillies bullpen has gotten better. Their scoreless streak is at 11 1/3. Runner goes. Pitch is taken low. Throw to second by Schneider. Out of time. Second stolen base of the game for the Nationals.
Base open, 9-hole up next, but they're going to hit for the pitcher, of course. So, you know, you got to, you know, it's not like you have a situation where you walk the 8-hole hitter.
Popped him up. Polanco will give it a look. Will it stay in play? It does. He makes the catch right at the railing. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Phillies bullpen does its job once again. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Colorado Rockies will be in town for the first and only time this year on Tuesday, June 19th. It's Irish Heritage Night. It's a 3-game series. It wraps up on the 21st, 7:05. Good giveaway. MLB Network drawstring backpack free to all fans. Tickets are available now by going to Phillies.com or stopping by the box office here at Citizens Bank Park. The Rockies had a 3-0 lead, but they trail it now 6-4. I believe Giancarlo Stanton may have hit another grand slam.
I think you said at the time, wait a minute.
Jose Contreras retired the only batter he faced
Hit another
in the
slam?
8th. I thought I saw that on the internet.
Carl will find out. Carl Graber.
Hunter Pence leads it off against Gorslani. Unless they were still buzzing about the grand slam he hit last night.
Yeah.
He did not hit a grand slam.
Well, it sounded good. It's all in the delivery.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Pence. Ground ball back to the box. 1-3 on the putout. Gorslani takes care of Hunter. And Brian Schneider will hit for the third time tonight. He's 1 for 2. Actually, they're going to bring Schneider back, and Kratz will pinch hit.
And then stay in the game.
So Kratz, who was called up from Lehigh Valley today, took over for Jimmy Rollins on the roster. Jimmy's on paternity leave. Boy, he just crushed that one. It's foul, but he crushed it. 0-1 the count. Eric Kratz is a strong young man, as you just saw.
He had some tiki bar shots in spring training.
He was the everyday catcher for Lehigh Valley and will once again be the everyday catcher for a staff that they're putting together some tremendous numbers. Scott Ellerton got roughed up yesterday in 4 2/3, but beyond that, that staff for the Iron Pigs that Rod Nichols is overseeing. Staff of veterans. They had a scoreless streak that was into the 20s at one point. They were dealing. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Kratz. 1-2. Eric also started a triple play the other night at Lehigh Valley.
How'd it go?
He caught a pop-up.
Right.
Got the guy off second.
Yeah.
And then they got the guy off first.
On a pop-up to the catcher?
Yeah. Hooks that one down the left field line.
Just a little shaky base. Were they running?
Well, he said today, yeah.
Oh, okay. But they
he
had to
said
be running
today,
on the count.
Well, it was a bunt. It was a sacrifice attempt.
Oh.
So he said today that he knew he'd get the runner at second, but he thought the only way I'm going to get the guy at first is if he made some kind of mistake. He said, wouldn't you know it? He made a mistake.
Yes.
To center field. That's pretty well hit. And Keel going back. Warning track to the wall, and he runs out of room. A home run for Eric Kratz to straightaway center field. His first of the year. The Phils are down by 3. It's a 5-2 ball game. Man, has got some pop.
Yeah, we were talking about spring training. Now he hit a bunch of tiki bar home runs. You see him in batting practice, really strong. That thing really carried to center field. Looked like
that's his first major league home run.
There it is. Fastball out over the plate. Got it way up in the air, and Keel almost got to the wall in time to try and jump and pull it back.
And now Hector Luda takes outside. Albert Buckner of Doylestown, you've won $300 thanks to Eric Kratz's first big league home run. And also compliments of McDonald's and the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Go rooting through those bushes out there and find it for him.
3 out assisted on that put out. Now there are 2 outs. Well, congratulations to Eric Kratz. He's a good guy. He's from the area. He was in the minor leagues for a long time before the Pirates called him up last year at the All-Star break.
Right. He had been in the big leagues before with Pittsburgh.
Outside.
See him putting on the shin guards because Carlos Ruiz ejected early in this game. And then Kratz just hit for Schneider.
Barry Cedarstrom threw out Carlos earlier for arguing balls and strikes. I guess if something happened to Eric Kratz, that Pete Orr would have to put the gear on.
Sound like he's a goalie again. Huh?
Yeah. 2-1 the count to Galvis. 2-2.
Biggest Eric Kratz fan in the dugout right now is Pete Orr.
There's Kratz going over some of Antonio Bastardo's pitches. Galvis sneaks one through the hole on the left side. Well, that first career home run by Eric Kratz, and each one hit by a Phillies player this season, means that one tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is a part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, visit phillies.com/redgoesgreen.
Well, he didn't hit it into the trees, but he hit it into
Yeah.
one of those out there. Hedges?
Those would be, I guess you could say hedges, bushes.
Have to ask Mike. Mike Buckholder, the Phillies ground crew. Guy always keeps us up to date on what they planted, what the flowers are. There he is.
There he is. He's scanning for some more information on flowers.
Yeah.
Fontenot rolls over on one. LaRoche makes the play and gets the lead runner at second. The side is retired. The Phillies do get a run back, though, on the first major league home run for Eric Kratz. Straightaway center field. It was high, and it was deep. Well over 400 feet beyond the reach of Rick Ankiel. We go to the ninth. It's a 3-run game. I think they have found it. They have one there. That's not the home run ball. And there it is. There's the winner, everybody. So Eric Kratz's first major league home run ball is in good hands. Because the grounds crew not only able to find the ball, but then get it into the rightful hands of Mike Buchholder. Roger Bernardino will lead it off. He's the pinch hitter for the Nationals. And Kratz was discussing Jose Contreras' pitches. Not Antonio Bastardo. Contreras knows Bastardo very well, so I thought maybe he was getting a sneak peek on what Bastardo was going to throw. But it is Contreras that starts this ninth inning after getting the last out in the eighth. 1 ball, 1 strike. By the way, Kratz had played 749 minor league games before his first major league home run. To the count. Split finger outside, 2-2. Kratz hit 96, or has 96 minor league home runs. It's a big man. He's got some pop. Swing and a miss. He tied him up. 1 out. 5 strikeouts now for the Phils bullpen. Phillies have won 1-2-3 inning tonight. It was off the 7th inning with Jake Diekman. Every time they retire the opposing team in order, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Lombardozzi.
He's right in the middle of that big 4-run inning, which has been the difference in this game. Roy Halladay had 1 inning where he really struggled, had some pitches up a little bit, I guess, and they hit him in that inning, and then gave up the 1 other run.
There's Cole Hamels. He'll be the starter tomorrow for the Phillies. His numbers against the Nationals very good, just as Doc's were coming into tonight's game. A little tap and foul, and it's 0-2. Lombardozzi had a single and a run scored in the third, singled also in the fourth. And he hits that one toward the right side. Good hop for Hector Luna. And Jose Contreras covers 3-1 on the putout. Pitchers were working on that yesterday. In fact, the Phillies took a full-blown infield yesterday before the game. And they had the pitchers covering first. I think Charlie Emanuel's coming out, and that will be it for Jose Contreras. Antonio Bastardo has been loosening up in the pen. So an inning for Contreras. 12 of the third scoreless now for the Phil's pen. We've got a pitching change here at the ballpark. Antonio Bastardo's coming in for Contreras to face Bryce Harper. Today, those two guys have pitched a near perfect baseball out of the bullpen for the Phillies, and that's exactly what the Phillies bullpen has done recently. Our W base and delivery of the ball game. Well, this happened wheels back in the third. We were chatting up with Ruben Amaro when Bryce Harper took a hanger toward the gap in right center field.
That was a big hit in that inning. They had a couple men on, scored right there on the triple to right center. He hustled it into a triple. He would later score, and then a home run later in the inning and turn it into 4. WB Mason delivery of the game, the triple by Bryce Harper.
So Bastardo's in to face Bryce Harper. 18th game for Antonio. 1-1, a 1.46 ERA. 14 strikeouts in 12 and a third. By the way, in the Phillies' ninth, pitcher spot, top of the order, down by 3.
And who are they going to close with? Clippard?
Looks that way, yeah.
I don't think they're going to run Rodriguez out there again. Not after last night. They may have to get away from that for a while. Yep. Tyler Clippard, fastball changeup. Gave a little bit on that.
I thought he gave a little bit on Diekman's ball, too. There's Ryan Zimmerman, who did not play tonight or has not played, and that was a quote-unquote manager's decision. Did take batting practice tonight.
Yeah.
Now the 0-2 pitch from Bastardo. To the dirt, 1-2.
320 off left. There's no lefties, no homers yet. Has 2 home runs.
Got him. Bailed again on a breaking pitch. 6 strikeouts for the Phillies bullpen tonight. A 1-2-3 ninth inning. One last chance for the Phils. They trail it by 3 as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Changes for the Nationals as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning. They lead it by 3, 5-2. Roger Bernardina, who pinch hit for the pitcher, stays in the game to play left field. So he's in for Lombardozzi, who doesn't move over to second, which is what he did last night. Tyler Clippard is the new pitcher for the Nationals. This is his 20th game. They run him out there a lot. He's 1-2 at 3.32 earned run average. He's given up more runs this year than what they're used to, but he still has done a pretty good job for them. He's turned himself into a very good National League relief pitcher after starting his career with the Yankees as a starting pitcher. Jordan Zimmerman started. He went the first 6. Then Tom Gorzolani, who pitched 2 and allowed a run. Pete Orr will pinch hit. And Orr sends one in the air deep down the right field line. Fair or foul, it is a foul ball. That would have made it very interesting.
Yeah. I think Clippard has a nice margin to work with here. 3 runs. It is a save situation. 3 runs or less. But, he probably hasn't done this a whole lot, so we'll see how he reacts. Not like they're putting him into a 1-run game. That's really difficult, especially on the road.
5 runs on 10 hits for the Nats. 2 runs on 9 hits for the Phillies. Or a .289 batter. He hasn't fared that well as a pinch hitter.
This guy can throw in the mid-90s, and then he has a tremendous changeup. Little breaking ball that he'll throw sometimes, but for the most part, right over the top with fastball changeup.
Juan Pierre's on deck. There's that changeup.
Good one. Good job by Pete to stay off that with 2 strikes.
Marlins and Mets are leading their games. The Braves are trailing their game. The 1-2 to Orr. Another changeup. It's 2-2. I was about to say he probably got his only fastball this at bat, but he might get one here. Although Clippard could throw the changeup the way Cole throws it. It's his best pitch, so he could throw it even when it's 2-2 or even 3-2.
Yeah, well, he throws it any time, and he's throwing off a mid-90s fastball.
There it is. So 1 out.
It's like Madsen. He reminds you very much of Ryan Madsen.
More like, yeah, you're right. It's probably more like Madsen.
His makeup of mid-90s fastball and a tremendous changeup. Man. Always look at him grip it right there. You see the 3 fingers on it. Fingers split. There's a changeup grip. Throw it as hard as you can. It comes out a little softer. Sounds easy. It's not.
So now with 1 out, Juan Pierre will bat. He's 0 for 4 in the game. Phillies only have John Mayberry left on the bench. They've used everybody else. Lost tonight, and this will be a less than 500 homestand. Phillies are 2 under 500 here at Citizens Bank Park. This doesn't normally happen that way.
Well, a lot of things aren't normal this year. Here in the 3rd week of May. Or is it the 4th? 3rd. 4th. Close.
It's the 3rd.
Yeah. Late May.
Back toward the middle. Desmond throws high, and LaRoche is able to get back down on the bag. Desmond does not make as many errors as he used to, but he could sell a throw at the best of them.
Yeah, he did there. LaRoche did a tremendous job of coming down on the back. Pierre gets jammed towards short. Ball sails a little bit. LaRoche knows he's got to get on that bag as quick as he can. He does. And out.
Let's take a look at that toe. I don't know if he got spiked or not when Pierre came across the bag. Polanco's 1 for 4. Phillies are 1 out away from losing their 4th consecutive game.
After a 6-game winning streak.
Phillies are down to their final strike. A lot of anticipation coming into the series against the Red Sox, and the Phillies answered with a win. Then they lost the next 2. Probably even more anticipation coming into this series because Phillies felt like if they had a good series, they can cut into the division a little bit more. That has not been the case. The 1-2 pitch to the right side. LaRoche will back up on it. Clippard covers, and the Phillies have lost 4 consecutive games after winning 6 consecutive games. The Nationals have taken the first 2 here at Citizens Bank Park. They've won 4 of 5 from the Phillies so far this year. The final score, the Nationals 5 and the Phillies 2. Our Chevrolet player of the game is Bryce Harper, who Davey Johnson felt was ready for the big leagues in spring training. Well, he had a 2-run triple tonight that erased a 1-run deficit and led to this victory for the Washington Nationals, who, depending on what happens in Cincinnati, will take over first place in the National League East if the Atlanta Braves wind up losing tonight, and they're trailing 4-3 in the 9th inning of their game against the Reds. 5-2 the final score. The Nationals have won it. We'll be back to talk a little bit more about it right after this from Citizens Bank Park.